John Dixon, he writes, I think in the second chapter, about how he always appreciated the cello, never learned how to play it. So he rented a cello. And he paid an instructor, like one of the best instructors in Australia, to tutor him for 2 hours on one piece. The first several bars to Johann Sebastian Bach's Suite Number 1 in G major. And I'm not going to hum it for you, but if you've ever seen a luxury car commercial, it's there, okay? It's like, it's there. It's one of those songs that you'd recognize. And so he so wanted to, so he gets tutored for 2 hours, and then he practices for 5 days straight, those same bars over and over and over again, because the next Tuesday, he rented out a concert hall, and he invited all his friends and family to come and watch him. And he sat there, bow in hand, with his instructor watching on as he began to play Johann Sebastian Bach's Suite Number 1 in G major. And it was horrible. It was like awful. It was the worst. And he later on said, if somebody listening to me play said, man, Bach stinks. That guy can't write at all. Did you hear how horrible that sounded? That was awful. They would be assigning to that misplaced judgment because it wasn't Bach's fault that I misplayed Bach's piece. Bach didn't miss the notes. He wrote an amazing melody. I'm the one that messed up each of the notes. And his instructor came on and took the bow and took the cello and began to play the piece. And it was awe-inspiring. It was amazing. Dixon's point is this: Jesus wrote an amazing melody. We have done a poor job of playing it in history. And often, you and I have done a poor job in playing it as well. The melody that our world gets to hear from Jesus is coming from us. What are they hearing? Jesus wrote an amazing melody for us to play. Return, mission, to the melody. Some of you are parents. You've experienced something that I've had to experience with my family. A 5th grade band concert. They're brutal. Like the worst. I don't know if hell has a soundtrack, but I'm not going to say that next service. But close. Now, here's the thing. If you're listening to a bunch of people who have just been introduced to an instrument and it sounds that way. I mean, it's like cats being tortured, sounds better. And it's one of those things where you can look at that and listen to that and just like go, okay, this is just awful. I've been there now with 4 sets of 5th graders that have gone through Manuka's band program. But I've also been the guy who sat as his senior in high school son has played a band concert at Manuka High School. It's amazing. It's different. It's wonderfully different. That should give all of us encouragement. We have not always got it right as Christians. We can own that. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But as Christians, we could recognize that the Holy Spirit is the one that brings us back to the melody of Jesus. Honestly open to our brokenness, honestly recognizing that at the feet of Jesus, all are equal. He has called us to love even our enemies, and that when we get off track, the Holy Spirit brings us back to the melody.